Namaste students. Let us discuss today the physico-chemical properties affecting absorption of a drug. By this time we have completed almost 9 physico-chemical properties affecting absorption of a drug. Now a summary of physico-chemical properties or important physico-chemical properties, what is their role in extent of absorption of a drug. If you want to summarize, we can take the help of this pH partition hypothesis or pH partition theory, which includes the influence or role of the 3 important properties of drug, how they contribute in rate and extent of absorption of a drug. And these 3 properties are ionization properties of a drug, solubility properties of a drug, that is aqueous solubility and lipid solubility, which is expressed in terms of partition coefficient. Besides this, one more physiological property is included in this pH partition theory, that is a pH of absorption site, where the absorption is taking place. What is the pH of that site? When we include all of these 3 properties together, then we can hypothesize some assumptions, some generalizations based on this pH partition theory. Let us understand in short what is pH partition theory or hypothesis by using this diagram. So pH partition theory, or it is also called as a solubility diffusion model, because the theory is restricted to the mechanism of passive diffusion only. And in this theory, the 3 important properties are covered, that is dissociation constant pKa, solubility, that is aqueous solubility of a drug, and lipophilicity of a drug, which is expressed in terms of partition coefficient. So let us look at the diagram. If the drug is having less soluble, and here soluble means obviously the aqueous solubility, and unionized form of a drug with optimum aqueous solubility, the drug is available outside the blood pH, that is in the GI tract, then the drug will cross the barrier depending upon its log P value or its lipid solubility. The drug will get permeated easily into the blood or next compartment, crossing the barrier. So for that purpose, what is required is the optimum or least aqueous solubility and more unionized form of a drug at that particular absorption window or the GI pH. And this ionization is dependent upon the dissociation constant of a drug, and based on the pH conditions, the ionization will take place. Therefore, the next situation is the drug is having more aqueous solubility, the drug is having more ionization properties, it will be available in the more ionized form at the GI pH depending upon its dissociation constant. So as it is available more in ionized form, now it is less permeable through the GI barrier. So this is what the theory suggests. What this theory suggests, the drug should have a proper dissociation constant value, and at GI pH the drug should be available in more unionized form, and the drug should have optimum or required lipid solubility. Then the drug will get perfused, permeated easily into the blood capillaries. The drug's entry into the blood is easy. So this is the summary of pH partition hypothesis. Let us go through the pH partition theory or hypothesis. What that theory states: for the drug compounds with molecular weight greater than 100, which are primarily transported across the biomembrane by passive diffusion mechanism, the process of absorption is governed by the 3 properties, that is dissociation constant pKa of a drug, lipid solubility of unionized form of a drug, that is a fraction of drug Ko by W, and pH of the absorption site. Brody and al., Brody and co-workers, they proposed this pH partition theory to explain the influence of GI pH and ionization properties of a drug on extent of drug transport or drug absorption. It is based on few assumptions. Which are these assumptions? Let us discuss the assumptions for the pH partition theory. First is pH partition theory of a drug absorption is based on the assumption that the GI tract is a simple lipid barrier, not a specialized one. Simple lipid barrier to the transport of drug and chemicals. First assumption. Second, the unionized form of an acid or basic drug is sufficiently lipid soluble, then it will get better absorbed than ionized form of a drug. This is second assumption. Third assumption is the larger the fraction of drug is in unionized form at a specific absorption site, faster is the absorption. Fourth assumption is fraction of drug in a solution that exists in unionized form is a fraction of both ionization constant of a drug and the pH of the solution. Means this ionization or availability of a drug in the ionized or unionized form, it depends upon the ionization constant and pH of the GI tract. Next assumption, the dissociation constant is expressed for both acids and bases as a pKa value, that is a negative logarithm of acidic dissociation constant, and it is customary to express the dissociation constant for both acidic and basic drugs by pKa values only. The lower the pKa of acidic drug, stronger is the acid and greater the proportion of ionized form at a particular pH. The higher pKa of a basic drug, stronger is the base. And next assumption is, thus from the knowledge of ionization constant pKa of a drug and pH at the absorption site, that is the at biological fluid, the relative amount of ionized and unionized drug in solution at a particular pH and the percentage of drug in solution at this pH can be determined by using a well-known Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. For weak acid, what is this equation? For weak acid, pH is equal to pKa plus log of ionized drug concentration divided by unionized drug concentration. Therefore, from this we can find out the percentage of drug ionized at that particular pH by using the equation. Percentage drug ionized is equal to 10 raised to pH minus pKa divided by 1 plus 10 raised to pH minus pKa of the drug multiplied by 100. For basic drugs, the same equation can be written as pH is equal to pKa plus log of unionized concentration of a drug divided by ionized concentration of a drug, and from this we can find out the percentage of drug ionized at particular pH by using the equation. Percentage of drug ionized is equal to 10 raised to pKa minus pH minus 1 plus 10 raised to pKa minus pH into 100. So this equation is useful to find out the percentage of ionization at particular pH. When the concentration of ionized and unionized drug become equal, the second term in the equation, it will become 0, that is pH is equal to pKa now, and the pKa is a characteristic of a drug. The barrier that separates the aqueous solution at different pH, such as gastrointestinal tract and plasma, the ratio can be given as a R, and this ratio for the weak acid is equal to concentration of a drug in GI tract divided by concentration of a drug in a plasma, and for weak bases the ratio can be given as a concentration of drug in a GI tract divided by concentration of a drug in plasma, vice versa. Now few generalizations we can make by using pH partition hypothesis, and these generalizations are important to understand. Now our GI tract is having pH range from 1 to 8, in the stomach 1 to 3, intestine 5 to 8 pH, and then in the colon again up to 8 pH is there. And most of the acid drugs are predominantly unionized at a lower pH of the GI tract, GI fluids, and may be absorbed from the stomach as well as from the intestine. Now, which are the generalizations based on the pH partition hypothesis? Very important here. For weak acids where pKa value is more than 8, example phenytoin, theophylline, they will get essentially unionized throughout the GI tract. The ionization of weak acids with the pKa values ranging from 2.5 to 7.5 is sensitive to the change in the pH. More than 99% of weak acid like aspirin, whose pKa value is 3.5, exists as an unionized form in the gastric pH On the other hand, only 0.1% of aspirin is unionized at the pH 6.5, that is in the small intestine. Despite of unfavorable ratio of unionized to ionized form, aspirin and most weak acids will get absorbed in the small intestine because of the larger surface area and long residence time. The strong acids like disodium chromoglycate, they are ionized throughout the GI tract and they will get poorly absorbed. Some examples with pKa values of a drug: phenobarbital, phenytoin, pKa value is near to 8. They will unionized at all pH values. The moderate weak acids, aspirin, ibuprofen, pKa is 3 to 4, unionized at gastric pH, ionized at intestinal pH. But still they get absorbed due to the reasons which we have already mentioned before. Strong acids, pKa is 2, disodium chromoglycate, ionized at all pH values. For the weak bases, the same generalizations can be made for the codeine. A weak base with pKa about 8 will have only few of the every million molecules in the non-ionized form at the GI pH 1. The pH range of the intestine from duodenum to colon is 5 to 8. So weakly basic drugs pKa less than 5 such as dapsone, diazepam, essentially unionized throughout the intestine, so they will get absorbed there. Strong bases, mecamylamine, guanethidine, they are ionized throughout the GI pH and tend to absorb poorly. Some examples: theophylline, caffeine, pKa value less than 1, unionized at the all pH values. Moderate weak bases, pKa value 5 to 11. Reserpine, heroin, pKa value 6 to 7, ionized at gastric pH, unionized at the intestinal pH. So absorption window is known to you. Stronger bases, mecamylamine, guanethidine, pKa value more than 11, ionized at all pH values. Few more examples you can see: phenobarbital, hexobarbital, they will get ionized at all pH values, absorbed throughout the GI tract because they are very weak acids. pKa is more than 8. Moderate weak acids like aspirin, ibuprofen, phenylbutazone, they will unionized as the gastric pH, ionized as ionized in the intestinal pH, so they will get better absorbed from the stomach. Similarly, very weak bases, theophylline, caffeine, oxazepam, diazepam, pKa is less than 5, less than 2, so unionized at all pH values, they will absorbed throughout the GI tract. Moderate weak bases, reserpine, amitriptyline, codeine, ionized at gastric pH, unionized at intestinal pH, get absorbed from the intestine. So the example of ibuprofen, whose dissociation constant value is 4.4, we have discussed these two examples in the dissociation constant. You can see here the ibuprofen at the stomach pH, the ionization unionized form is limited. At the plasma where pH is 7.4, ionization is more. At the intestinal pH, the ionization is moderate at pH 5. So for the nitrazepam, you can see the ionized form is more at acidic pH than plasma pH, where the unionized form is more, and in the intestine also because the pH is in the range of 5. So what is the extent of ionization with respect to the pH, that you can understand, and the unionized form is very important for the better absorption. Now in the summarization of the lipophilicity and drug absorption, the highly lipid soluble drugs, they will get absorbed depending upon their availability in unionized form in the small intestine especially. That is important for you. The critical role of lipid solubility in drug absorption is guiding principle in the drug development, as pH partition hypothesis covers lipid solubility and ionization and their relationship in the absorption of a drug to decide the absorption window of a drug. Next example or significance of this intestinal absorption for drugs depending upon the partitioning and ionization. This example is given here. The rapidly absorbing drugs like phenylbutazone, the partition coefficient is high, absorption is not that much as compared to the moderately absorbed drugs where the partition coefficient is limited and depending upon that the absorption is what. So the drugs are divided into these classes: rapidly absorbed, moderately absorbed, and slowly absorbed. The limitations of pH partition hypothesis, the limitations are the presence of virtual membrane pH, absorption of ionized drug also, influence of GI surface area and residence time that we have already seen in the discussion. So these are the limitations. Thank you very much, students.